You grow up in a fishing village on the Pacific coast. Your father mends nets. Your mother guts fish at the cannery until her fingers are permanently curved like hooks. You're the middle child of 7. There's never enough food, but there's always enough silence. Your father doesn't talk about the men who dock expensive boats at the village pier at 3 a.m. and leave before sunrise. Nobody does. At 14, you carry coolers from those boats to a truck parked behind the church for 200 pesos a trip. You don't open the coolers. You don't ask what's inside. The money buys shoes for your younger sisters. That's enough reason. By 16, you're driving the truck. By 22, you run the pier. Not officially. There's no contract. But every boat that docks at night pays you a fee, and every cooler that moves through the village moves through your hands. A man named Carrasco, who operates out of Culiacan, notices you. Sends a lieutenant to offer you a position. Not on the pier. In the city. Logistics. Moving product from the mountains to the coast. From the coast to the border. From the border to distribution points in Arizona and Texas. You say yes because saying no to Carrasco is a funeral with extra steps. You leave the village on a Tuesday. Your mother watches from the doorway. She doesn't wave. She just stands there with her curved fingers at her sides like she's already mourning. You're good at logistics the way some people are good at chess. You see the whole board. You know which highways get checkpoints on which days. You know the weight limits on bridges and how many kilos a modified fuel tank holds before it rides too low and catches a cop's eye. You know that Tuesday shipments through Sonora have a 4% interception rate and Thursday shipments through Sinaloa have 11%. You reduce loss across Carrasco's northern corridor from 15% to 3% in 1 year. That saves the organization $40 million. Carrasco doesn't promote you. He absorbs you. You become his shadow, his operational brain, the man who turns his orders into outcomes. By 28, Carrasco is dead. Ambush at a ranch, 30 bullets. His inner circle fractures. 4 men claim the throne. 3 of them kill each other in 6 weeks. You don't claim anything. You just keep the supply chain running while everyone else fights. When the smoke clears, you're the only one left who knows every route, every contact, every bank account, every password. The surviving lieutenants look around the table and realize the quiet logistics guy is the only person who can keep the money flowing. They don't elect you. They just stop arguing. That's how you become the boss. Not with a gun. With a spreadsheet. By 32, you're moving 200 tons a year across the border. Your network spans 14 Mexican states. You have accounts in Panama, Switzerland, the Cayman Islands, Dubai. You employ 4,000 people directly, tens of thousands indirectly. Farmers, chemists, truckers, bankers, lawyers, politicians. You've never been photographed. You've never been arrested. You've never raised your voice in a meeting. The DEA has a file on you 3 inches thick and not a single usable image. They have a name. They have a legend. They don't have a face. An agent once told a reporter that chasing you is like chasing smoke. Then you make the list. The FBI's most wanted. Interpol Red Notice. $25 million reward. Your name is spoken in congressional hearings. Your ghost is projected on screens in press conferences. They use an old sketch based on a description from an informant who met you once at a party 5 years ago. It looks nothing like you. You watch the press conference on television from a house in the mountains and study the sketch like it's someone else's problem. In a way, it is. That sketch is a character. A monster they built to justify budgets and task forces. You're just a man from a fishing village eating dinner alone. The hunt changes everything. Before the list, you moved freely. Restaurants, meetings. You once walked through an airport in Mexico City wearing a suit and nobody looked twice. Now you're a target worth $25 million, and every person you've ever met is a potential payday. Trust collapses overnight. Your security chief sweeps your houses daily for bugs. Your communications go analog. No phones, no emails. handwritten notes on paper that dissolves in water. You speak to your lieutenants through 3 layers of couriers. An order takes 48 hours to reach the field. You accept the delay because delay is survivable. Interception is not. You move every 72 hours. Mountain safe houses connected by dirt roads that don't appear on any map. You sleep in a different bed every night. Some nights you sleep in the truck. Some nights you don't sleep. You eat food prepared only by a woman named Lupe, who has cooked for you for 9 years. She tastes everything first. Not because you asked. Because she decided. You trust her more than any lieutenant. She's 60 years old and carries a revolver in her apron. She's the closest thing you have to family now. Your actual family is gone, not dead. Removed. You sent your mother and sisters to a town in Jalisco under new names 3 years ago. You haven't seen them since. You send money through a chain of 6 intermediaries. Your mother thinks the money comes from a government pension your father earned before he died. Your father died of a stroke 2 years ago. You found out 3 days late because the message had to pass through 4 couriers. You couldn't go to the funeral. You sat in a concrete room in the Sierra and drank a bottle of mezcal and talked to a wall. That was your goodbye. The Americans send drones. You learn to read the sky. A certain hum at a certain altitude means surveillance. You move at night under tree cover. You avoid open ground. You become nocturnal. Your skin turns pale from never seeing sunlight. Your eyes adjust to darkness so well that bright rooms give you headaches. You're becoming something less than human and more than animal. A creature built for one purpose. Survival. They get close twice. The first time a military unit raids a ranch, you left 4 hours earlier. They find warm food on the table. Your coffee still in the cup. A soldier photographs the cup, and it makes international news. The world's most wanted man's breakfast. They analyze the coffee brand, the tortilla type. They build a profile from your leftovers. You watch the coverage and stop eating brand name anything. You grind your own coffee. You make your own tortillas. You erase yourself one habit at a time. The second time is worse. A helicopter drops soldiers 200 meters from a mountain cabin while you're inside. You hear the rotors. You have 90 seconds. You grab nothing. No bag. No money. No phone. You go out the back into the ravine wearing shorts and sandals. You run uphill through brush that cuts your arms and legs until you can't hear the helicopter anymore. You spend 2 nights in the mountains with no food, no water, no shelter. You drink from a stream. You sleep in a ditch covered with leaves. On the 3rd day, a shepherd finds you and thinks you're a lost hiker. You pay him with a watch worth $40,000 to drive you to the next town. He probably thinks it's fake. You don't care. You're alive. The paranoia is total now. You suspect everyone. Your security team rotates every 3 months. New faces. New loyalties to test. You set traps. Feed false information to specific people and wait to see which version leaks. When it leaks, you don't confront the traitor. You just watch them disappear the way everyone disappears in this business. Quietly. Completely. You've ordered the deaths of 11 men you once trusted. You feel nothing when you give the order. You feel everything at 3 a.m., when the silence gets loud enough to hear your own thoughts. You try to negotiate. Through intermediaries, you contact a senator. You offer $100 million to the government in exchange for a deal. Reduced charges. A comfortable prison. Something. The senator takes the meeting. Takes the money. Gives you nothing. 3 months later, that same senator holds a press conference announcing a new anti-cartel initiative funded by seized assets. Your assets. You laugh when you see it on television. Then you stop laughing because the joke is your life. You stop eating at tables. You eat standing near exits. You stop sleeping in beds. You sleep in chairs facing the door. You carry 3 passports from 3 countries, and none of them have your real name. You've had minor surgery twice to alter your appearance. A nose job in a backroom clinic in Guatemala. Cheekbone implants from a Venezuelan doctor who operates out of a fishing boat. The face in the mirror doesn't match the face in your memory. You've erased yourself so completely that some mornings you forget who you were before all this. The kid from the fishing village. Your mother's curved fingers. The smell of the cannery. Those memories feel like they belong to someone else. Someone who died a long time ago. The organization starts to fracture beneath you. When the boss is a ghost, the structure cracks. Lieutenants make their own deals. Territories blur. Rivals sense weakness. A war starts in Guerrero that you can't control because controlling it requires presence, and presence requires visibility, and visibility means death. You issue orders from the mountains. Half of them arrive too late. A quarter of them get ignored. You're a king ruling from a cave, and the kingdom is rotting from the edges inward. Years pass. 5, 7, 10. You lose count. Every day is the same. Wake up. Move. Eat. Watch. Listen. Sleep somewhere new. The world changes around you. Presidents come and go. Task forces are created and dissolved and recreated. Your reward increases to $30 million. New sketches appear. Each one looks less like you than the last because you've lost weight, grown a beard, aged 15 years in hiding. You're 47 and you look 60. Your knees ache from sleeping on concrete. Your teeth are bad because you haven't seen a dentist in 8 years. The most wanted man in the world can't get a checkup. You think about turning yourself in, not every day, but some nights when the mountains are so quiet, you can hear your own blood moving. You imagine walking into an embassy. Hands up. I'm the one you're looking for. A cell, a trial, a concrete room with a schedule and meals at regular times, and a bed that doesn't change every night. The fantasy isn't freedom. The fantasy is stillness. You're so tired of running that a cage sounds like rest. Lupe dies. Heart attack. Quiet. The way she did everything. You bury her on a hillside with no marker, because markers are evidence. She's the last person who knew you before the list. The last person who called you by your first name. Everyone else calls you patron, or jefe, or sir. She called you mijo. That word is buried with her now. One morning you're sitting on a rock in the Sierra watching the valley below. Fog in the trees. Birds. A river you can hear but not see. It's beautiful. You've been hiding in some of the most stunning landscapes on Earth, and you've never once stopped to notice. Because beauty requires peace, and peace requires safety. And safety doesn't exist in your vocabulary anymore. You notice it today. You don't know why. Maybe because you're tired. Maybe because something in you knows that the running is almost over. Not because you'll escape. Because eventually the math catches up. It always does. A satellite. A traitor. A cousin who needs $30 million more than he needs your blood. The ending writes itself. You're just waiting for the last page. Nobody escapes the list. That's the truth they don't tell you when you're 14 carrying coolers from boats. They don't tell you that power is a trap disguised as a door. That every step up is a step deeper into a room that gets smaller every year until you're a man on a rock in the mountains with bad teeth and no name watching fog and waiting for a sound in the sky. Somewhere right now, a 14-year-old kid in a coastal village is carrying a cooler from a boat to a truck. He's not asking what's inside. The money buys shoes for his sisters. That's enough reason. It's always enough reason. That's how it starts. That's a wrap. The story is fiction, but the list is real. The reward is real. And somewhere in a mountain range right now, a man with no phone and no photograph is listening for helicopters. If this made you think, drop a comment. Subscribe for more. See you in the next one.